or you want to ask the questions afterwards? Okay, very good. Let's send the salawats. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله العظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Why do we worship Allah? Why do we serve Him? What makes us do this? How is it made in us to worship Him? Do we all worship Him? Sometimes more, sometimes less. Some people do it a lot, some people do it less. Some people have a lot of times in their life they have Allah in their mind. Some people hardly remember Allah. But we see that we all, one time or another, do have it sense in our mind that there's God and I need to serve Him. I need to serve Him. And this is something that, as we are going to look at this and see how do they do this, we'll see there are some reasons behind it. Some reasons. For example, I want to be thankful for what I have is one reason. I want to be thankful for what I have. Whatever I have, I want to thank someone for this. I mean, not everything we have is terrible. Not everything we have is horrible. There are things that we have that we want to be thankful for. And maybe we don't realize it, but sometimes we do when we see other people who are less fortunate than us. You see, that feeling overwhelms us and comes and says that, wow, look at that person. He doesn't have this. I want to thank whoever gave this to me that I have it. Whether it is health, whether it's wealth, whether it's sanity, whether it is intelligence, whether it's smartness, whether it's parents, whether it's relatives, anything that you have. You see, there are some things in your life that one of the reasons why we worship Allah is because we want to thank someone. Number one. Second reason why we worship Allah is that, it is serving Him is really in our true reality. When you look at your reality, before you are a believer, before you start to believe in something, before you start to associate yourself with a certain group, before you became a American or a Pakistani or an Indian for yourself and a belief for yourself, before any of these things, you were, and we all were, a servant, an abd. So let me teach you an Arabic word, abd. What does abd mean? Abd means someone who is a servant. Someone who serves someone else is an abd. Have you all heard the word Abdullah? Abdullah, right? It means a servant of Allah. Abdullah, it means a slave. You are a slave. That's what it means. Now, this being an abd is in our reality. We are an abd because we are created to serve our Creator. It is in our nature. It is innate inside of us that we like to serve. We want to serve. And when we serve, we feel good about ourselves. When we don't serve, we feel bad about ourselves. For example, if you volunteer, feel that goodness inside of you. Serving makes us feel good because it brings us back to our nature, to who we are. That's what service does. We are meant to serve. Now, the problem that happens with service is that it's not easy to learn. How can I learn to serve Allah? I want to be thankful to Allah and I want to serve Him, but how can I learn to serve? It's one of those things that is very difficult for people. It's easily said than done. All of you right now are, for service. So now tell me, everyone here, boys and girls, are you a servant? I don't want to really make it hard on you all, but the fact is that, yes, maybe to a very small extent, it's very difficult to be a servant. It's very difficult to be an abd. Let me tell you a story. I think that you know the story. I'm going to make it brief. There was once a story of Luqman. I don't know if you heard about this person's name. Luqman, he's mentioned in the Quran. And he claimed, and his owner, he got into some financial problems, and he came and said, listen, why don't you sell me and use the money for your financial difficulties? So what happened is that this person, he said, listen, you're not worth that much. He says, why don't you try? Put me on the market for sale. In those days, they used to sell slaves, So he says, put me on the market for slave, and write down that this person knows how to be a slave. He knows how to be a good slave. Yes. So now the issue is that what? Yes, put it in the headlines of your advertisement. It's like, for example, you write in, you want to sell a car, a used car, and you write down, this is, mint condition. Why do you write down mint condition? When someone comes to the car and sees, you said it was mint condition. Yes, mint condition to me. Then your standards are poor, man. This is not mint condition. This is garbage. But the issue that he says is write it down. I'm telling you, you'll get a good price. He says write it down, because no one, slaves, you just say I have a slave, he's this age, he's male, blah, blah, all these things, and you sold it. But you don't say that, this is a slave who knows how to be a slave, and no one is a better slave than him. So now the advertisement came out, and he charged a very high price. Absurdly high. If slaves were worth 1,000, he charged 100,000 for him. He said, 100,000 for what? He's not even young. He's not even young. Why would I buy this person? I would not want to buy this person. So what happened is that the king heard about this, right? There's a slave in the market for 100,000. He said, 100,000? That would be interesting. I want to see who this is. Really, I want to see who this is. I want to see what makes him so expensive. So he came there to the slave market, and he saw this, slave, and he says, what makes you $100,000? I mean, 100,000, whatever it was in those days. He says, because I know how to be a slave. No one else does. He says, what are you talking about? Go ahead and try me. Go ahead and take me for a test drive. Okay, so what happened is that they took him. They took him out for a test drive, and he takes him home, and he now bothers him. He beats him. He, every time, does whatever he can to annoy him, to beat him. Then he starts torturing him, beating with the belt. But every time that he gets tired, the owner gets tired of beating him with the belt, Luqman will take the belt and give it back to him. He says, go ahead. Do it more. And this point is like that, no matter how much I'm the one getting tired and you getting all the beating, still want more. He says, that's what makes a servant. That's a servant. When we say abd, that's what it means. When we say abd, that's what it means. Now the problem is that it's very difficult for us to be an abd, especially living in America and in this time and age. The idea and the principles of being an abd are finished, because now you get burgers the way you want. And if you don't get them, you can throw it at their face and say, give me a refund. Right? Now what happens? That doesn't make a slave. that makes an nincompoop. You know? And we have now forgotten to be a slave. We don't know how to be a slave. Because if we don't like it, then I don't want it. I can't bear it. I don't want to deal with it. Why? Because I don't like it. So when that attitude is the complete opposite of being an abd. When we say that Rasulullah is abd of Allah, it means that he took whatever it is from Allah, not just not complaining, but enjoying it and wanting more of it. And Allah put Rasulullah through very difficult circumstances, embarrassing situations, shameful places. Places where you will lose all your respect. And Rasulullah went through that. Not just wasn't he not upset, he was happy with it. The idea of a slave, my friends, is to just, whatever is being given out to you, you do it without, not just not complaining, but enjoying it, loving it. Now, this quality of being a slave is something that unfortunately, we do not have. We will worship Allah when we like it, when it's convenient for us. When I am in my AC and I'm in a comfortable situation, that's when I will pray. I am not going to pray when I have to go through BS, and no, I will miss my prayers and I'll come back and I'll do it later. Allah, if you don't like it, then you know what, too bad. That's the attitude that American Muslims have. And that's the attitude that we in the West have been raised with. Now, how do we get rid of that arrogance that we have and this ego that we have and get back to being an abd? Allah, how can I learn to serve you and to truly be of service to you without, even if it goes against what I want, even if I don't like it? How can I come to that? You see, this is something that's not easy. It's difficult. It's not something that you can learn in one day. I am sorry, my friends. I cannot give you a pill. Allah cannot give you a pill that's going to change you overnight. And say that, okay, you know what? You take this pill and there you go. Wrap it on your arms and make a dua and there you go. You will be an abd of Allah tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. But there's one thing that Allah has put in your life. There's one thing that Allah has put in your life that is the most effective in making you an abd, in making you a slave. There's one thing He put in your life, in everyone's life, that makes you a servant more than anything else. And that's what we want to know. How many of you want to know that one secret that Allah put in your life that makes you a servant, gives you the quality of being an abd and serving Allah more than anything else that you're ever going to come across? You want to know that? Alright, then send us salawats. What? Because we want to be a servant. Because being a servant is the door of opening all these blessings that are out there for us. Making us a better person, making our relationship with Allah, making us strong, disciplined, determined, bringing us all the qualities that are there needed for a human being to have. All of those good things comes by being a servant. How do you become a servant? Well, there's one thing that Allah put in your life that makes you a servant, and it is called a father. It is called a father. Allah made a father for everyone in order that the quality of servanthood can come inside of you. Yes, not mother, a father. A mother has different influences and different effects. You know, it's unfortunate that we don't know human beings and the psychology of human beings and how Allah created a mother and a father. A mother is meant for other things. A father is meant for other things. Both of them are necessary. Can one take the place of another? Yes. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible. No, it is possible for the mother to become a father also, or for the father to also become like a mother. It is possible, but it's very difficult. Allah placed both of them so that they can serve a different purpose and a different role. Now, I'm not talking about mothers now, right? Leave that to the side. Why, Allah, did you create a father and made a father for me? You didn't have to, right? I mean, we could have just been born with a mother. But Allah, why did you make a relationship of me to a father? Why a father for? One of the things that we learn from a father, you see, two things I mentioned to you. You learn from a father that you cannot learn from a mother. Through the mother, you learn something else I told you. One of the things you learn through a mother is thankfulness. But the thing that you learn from a father that you cannot learn from a mother is obedience and servanthood. Being an abd. Being an abd required you not to be attracted, but to have a fearful awareness. To know that there is a expression of law and order. That there is a law and order and that you have to follow it. There is a thing that you have to follow it. So this is the thing that you learn from a father. This, let me explain to you. Let me just explain to you. Let me read an ayat for you, a hadith, and so that from here we can go forward. Send a loud salawats. You know, there's an ayat in the Quran where Allah swears and says, Wal al-walidu wama walad. I swear by the father and what he begets. Allah swears by the role of the father and what he begets out of that, what comes out of this role. He's not talking about children. You know, the role of the father and what comes out of that role is that obedience to Allah and being a servant of Allah comes out of the role of fatherhood. When father is the person, the role that Allah has given. Allah says, Wal al-walidu wama walad. Walid, you know the meaning. And the father and what he brings about. Walad means what he gives wiladat to. Now, you know that a father doesn't give wiladat. The mother gives a wiladat, right? A birth. So he's not talking about the children, actual children being born. Here the ayat is saying that the role of the father and what he brings about in reality, which is obedience, which is that servanthood, that ubudiyat, that being a servant comes from that. This is the importance of the role of the father. If you take that father's role out, that child can never be able to be balanced until someone else plays that role. And I said someone else playing that role is very difficult. It's possible, but it's very difficult. It's the father that plays that role. And if the father is not there, then this quality can never come in a kid. No matter how much you try, you will see he will be imbalanced. He will worship Allah only when he likes it. Allah, I don't like that. And you might hear some people, I like fasting. It's a very healthy thing. Okay. But this khums and zakat, these ulama, they do all kinds of things with it. What? The thing that happens is that you don't like it, so I don't do it. Why? Because I don't like it. You see, this is not an abd. This is the person who's arrogant. He's not obeying Allah, he's obeying himself. I do what I like. I don't do what Allah likes. I don't do what Allah likes. If Allah likes it, that's okay. As long, I need to like it first. You see, this is what needs to be broken down first. This me, this I liking something has to be broken down. And the one that breaks it down more than anyone else in your life is your father. He's the one who breaks it down. The mother is the one who's, even when she tries to be hard on you, it's not that serious. It's not that serious, Mother's like shouting this and that. You see the son is like, yeah, whatever, What you gonna do? Doesn't happen. I mean, that's the thing. You all are experienced parents, and you should know this. I don't need to explain that in much. Psychologically, you'll see that's not her role. It should not be her role. The role of the father is the one who creates the law and order in the house, lays down the laws in the house, the rules in the house. And it's through those rules that you see that a person learns to serve Allah. And he grows up being a servant. Why? He learns how to serve when he serves his father and mother. When he serves his father and mother, that's when he learns. You see, what does the father do? Does the father say that, follow me, obey me? No, I want you to see this, how dynamically this works in a household. If a person truly recognizes the beauty and the intelligence behind this, they will appreciate how Allah created us this way. What does the father make the children obey? That makes them a servant. You know what he does? The father, he creates that servanthood in a child by making the child obey his mother. Mother is the weak person, right? And his job is to create her as the example and make them obey her. You better listen to her. Right? He holds that, that awe and that fearsome personality that he has, but he wants that child, to now obey someone that is the expression of love and mercy and compassion. Maybe if you understood what I said, right, you will understand why Allah, it's not enough for Allah to say, obey me and that's it. No, Allah's obedience is going to come when Allah is going to now make you bow before His wali, who is the expression of his iman and his compassion. That's why Ahlulbayt come in the picture. Allah, your job is to make me bow down before them so that I can now respect you. I need someone. That's why Allah made the angels bow down before Adam. Bow down before him. Who the heck is he? Who the hell is he? He's not God. He's not this. What happened? I said, no, this is my training for you. This is how I train your arrogant self to break you down and make you bow down before someone who is, yes, if I come there, you all can't even stand. Look what happened to Musa's people when they asked Musa, show us Allah, we want to see him before we worship him. Allah just showed a lightning, a reflection, not himself, her lightning of his majesty, and they fell down dead. Couldn't even handle it. This is easy for me. If I wanted, I could just show everyone, you would all be on your, you'll be finished. No, my training for you to bring that servanthood in you is to make you bow down before someone who looks like you. This is the greatness of it. And when you see that beauty, when you see how it works, then you realize, subhanallah, this is Allah. You are training me to be a servant. And so now let me just say some hadiths regarding this, and that will be all for today. But I just want to give the importance of the role of the father. Why Allah put the role of the father in our life. Say the salawats. Now obviously the hadith that heaven lies under the feet of the mother, That's there. And then, but for the Father, the hadith says, the Father stands at the door of heaven. If you had respected him, you enter. If you don't, then you are gone. Simple as that. So when you look at both ways, both of these things, mother and father, play a role in your development as a person. And they both are important to make you a complete and balanced individual. That's what we want to be. Allah wants us to create that so that when we learn Islam, we practice it the right way. Send a salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. One more salawat. The importance of obeying the Father is not when the Father is present only. It's also when he is absent. You see, when a father lays down the rules, then those rules, it's not like, okay, if he's not here, so, we can do what we want now. Can we do that? Can we say that, okay, well, here's the deal, right? My dad's not here. If he was here, I wouldn't do it. Of course, I wouldn't do it because he will see me and get angry and, probably give me a beating or punishment, put me in the corner or time out me, But you know what happens? No. Even when he's not present, you have to obey him. How important is the obedience of the Father? How important is it? It says that even, if the Father calls you, then no matter what you're doing, you have to leave it and come. You have to leave it and come. The only thing you don't break is your wajib prayer. But if you are making your mustahab prayer, let's say, you're doing your prayer, let's say, and the Father is somewhere else. As an example I'm giving you, and I want you to see yourself, check yourself, right? Let's say you are here in Laylatul Qadr, and you're making your prayers here. Your 100 rakat prayer, whatever prayer you're making. And the Father is, let's say, over there in the kitchen or in the hallway, and he calls you by your name. Come here. Now you're in the prayer, then the correct process is that you break your prayer right away. Get out of that prayer and go towards him. If you stay in the prayer, then Allah is upset at you. If you stay in the prayer, then Allah is upset at you. Why didn't you listen to him? And I think that's enough to understand that how much we do this. A person came to Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salam, and he said that, and he was upset, visibly upset and angry, and he said, my dad, he gave me a house to live in. He made it mine. And now he wants to take it back. And he took it back from me. I thought it was mine, and he took it back from me. He was telling this to Imam Sadiq, right? So Imam Sadiq said, your father did not do the right thing. By doing that, he did the wrong thing for you, He didn't do the right thing to you. He did wrong. He did wrong. But you don't raise your voice in front of him. Don't show him your anger. Just shut up. Shut up. Don't even look at him in the eye. Put your eyes down. Shut up. Whatever he has done wrong. You cannot do anything to him. You see, this is training for a father. When the father says something, then you know what? The role of the father is to train you to be a servant. I don't like it. Yes, I know you don't like it. But that's the whole idea behind it. Not everything he says you're going to like. You are just going to obey it and be nice about it. The role of the father is so important that Musa, the prophet Musa, he was raised in the house of Pharaoh. Pharaoh is not his father, but he was raised in his house. And then Pharaoh wanted to kill him, and he ran away. And then after years, Allah then said to Musa, go back and give warnings and give my message to Pharaoh and his people. Give my message to Pharaoh. He sent Musa back to Pharaoh. But with this advice, that when you give the message, speak politely, speak nicely, and have good akhlaq. No matter what, he still raised you. But this is Pharaoh we're talking about, you know? I mean, how worse can you get? And you're advising me, your prophet, I'm your prophet, you're advising me to be nice to him? He says, yes, because he was raised by you. Something else, you know, just that role. You have to respect that role. If you don't respect it, you will lose the servanthood. You can never become a servant of Allah. You will never have that inside of you. You think that you are a Muslim and I'm a Muslim. Yes, I'm a Muslim. Yes, in word. But in character, no. It's very important that we have that. That's the importance I want to talk to you about. Even when he's present or absent. You know, Yaqub, Yusuf was thrown away by his brothers. Yusuf became the king of Egypt, or the Aziz of Egypt. His father, Yaqub, sent the children, all his other children, he says, go to the city, right? Go to the city, but enter the city from different gates. Don't enter it with one gate, that people will look at you and see, where is this group coming from? Yaqub, he's blind, he cannot see. It's an advice that he gave them. But these children, no matter that they were the ones responsible for pushing Yusuf into a well and making Yusuf go through all the difficulties, but when they went there, they said, we have to obey what our father says. He's not there to watch them. He won't know if they entered from one door or another. But you see, the idea of obeying your father. Even when he's not there, he says, I have to obey him. This is what makes me a better person. Obeying your father is what makes you a better person in life. A greater person. It builds your personality. It builds your character. It makes you a person that other people will learn to look up to. And that's the role the father shows in the house. And this is why when we are talking about father on Father's Day, it is through that. When Rasulullah said that me and Ali are the fathers of this ummah, it means that our role is to make you obedient to Allah. This is our role in life, in your life. We are here so that when we say something and you look up to us, and when you obey us, then you will learn to obey Allah. A father is the one who teaches his children, male or female, doesn't matter. He teaches his children how to obey Allah and how to be a servant of Allah. And this is the greatest thing, you see, what the role that the father is created for. And we need to appreciate that role. Al-walidu wa ma walad. I swear by the father in what he brings about in his children. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and the blessing to be on the right paths, wisdom to understand His guidance, hasten the reappearance of our Imam, make us His helper when He comes. Wa akhiru da'wana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. All right, any questions? Yes, sir. Oh, he did, right? Abu Talib. You see, a father, or the one who plays the role of the father, even Fir'aun, for that matter, right? Allah says, be nice. Why you were raised in his house. So he had a fatherly figure for you. The role of the father. So for Rasulullah, Abu Talib played that role. Abdul Muttalib played that role. You know, after, obviously he did not see his own father. Abdul Muttalib played that role. And Abu Talib played that role. So there's always someone in the house who is like a father figure that creates that sort of qualities of obedience in a person, right? It doesn't have to be your own father. Anyone who you see having that role, you know, should be respected, should be looked up to, should be followed. in order to build myself up. If I don't do that, it is to my own undoing. It will be my own undoing if I don't do that. It's not harming anyone. It's not harming the Father if I don't listen to it. It's harming me if I don't listen to Him. I'm the one being damaged, not Him.
You said that angels are, we were meant to serve Allah. I thought angels, isn't that what angels are for? Isn't that what angels are for Allah?
Yeah. What do you mean? Angels are for Allah.
Aren't angels meant to serve Allah?
Yeah, everyone is meant to serve. All creation is Allah's, is meant to serve Allah, right? And they do serve Allah. Some voluntarily, some involuntarily. Angels serve involuntarily. We have the choice to serve Allah. But it's in our nature to serve Him. Yes?
Going back to speaking an orphan, if you believe in the adl, isn't it against the adl that if an orphan is unable to become obedient to Allah because an orphan by not his own choice does not have a father?
Yes, but the thing is that, right? The orphan, right? Just leaving alone the orphan. People who don't have a crucial blessing in their life are more appreciative of not having it than those who have it. You see, an orphan learns obedience by the fact that he doesn't have the roles created in him. And he looks at that, and that has more effect on his character than if the father was there. Then he was there. You see, like for example, if I am blind, right? I am able to see things that others cannot see, even though physically they're able to see it. Because I appreciate those things more than them, what they're seeing that they take for granted, that when I hear it, I get excited by it. So you just imagine this, right? I don't have eyes. If I'm blind and someone describes to me a flower, the emotions that are overwhelmed in me just by listening to that, and if I see it, I wouldn't even pay attention. So the fact is that, same thing with an orphan. Allah knows what He's doing to different people and how He is now training them to reach that space. So yes, not everyone has to be the same. Because we all are different, not everyone has to, but the role that there are certain things that, for example, everyone will have to go through. The role of the father has to be there, somehow will be there, right? In one way or the other. That's why Allah said what? He said that you have 3 fathers. Listen to this carefully. You have 3 fathers, right? Well, actually 4, right? 3 fathers in the hadith that are like ourselves, right? Amongst ourselves. The first father you have is the one who gave you birth. The second father you have is the one who educated you and became your teacher. The third father you have is your father-in-law. The father of the wife that you married. He's also, so, there's got to be a male role somewhere there. Right? And wherever that is, you will see that will become the basis for you having the influence of a father. Somewhere it's going to happen.
And the fourth one?
The fourth one is the Imam. So no matter if you don't have any of these things, you have the Imam then. Yes?
How is it that the father of all mankind had no father?
Very good. The father of not all humankind didn't have a father, right? You see, now, let me see that. Adam, he's talking about Adam. He didn't have a father. Where did he learn to obey Allah? Just because of the fact that he didn't have a father, Allah put him in a garden and told him, do not go near that apple tree. And if you go there, you're going to get hurt. He created a you can say a module of learning obedience, so that Adam can get it in his mind what obedience is and put it in his character. This whole thing that we learn in the Quran is what? Is to fill the gap of not having a father in his life that everyone else had, but he didn't. And Allah created that for him so he can learn. Yeah, he got timed out, but still, that is a lesson for him, right? Punishment. Okay, you did wrong, you get punished, but not severely, I'm sure you didn't like it, and Adam didn't like it. He cried 500 years for one mistake he did, and we make 500 mistakes a day, we don't cry once.
Why we put Siddiqa in front of us while the other figures they don't put Siddiqa?
You see, here's the thing, right? Why do we put the sajda, the stone in front of us to pray on, and not others? Okay, two things. Allah says to make sajda on the earth, right? On the earth. Earth is what is, natural. Imam Sadiq says that Allah forbidden you, He wants you to make sajda on the earth except for two things. Things that you eat and you wear. Do not make sajda on that, because the things that are eaten and the things that are worn are the guards of the people of this dunya. Meaning the clothes and food is like their guard. This is what they live for. And Allah doesn't want to be associated with the guards of these people. He says, don't do sajda on carpet. Don't do sajda on these. These are all things that you make clothes from. So make sajda on something that is completely natural, that no one regards as God, right? Which is dirt. And you make sajda on dirt. So that's why we use sajda. If we lived in the time of the Prophet where the ground of the masjid was made of dirt, then we don't need anything to put there. It's dirt. That's what they used to pray on. That's why when all the Muslims used to pray, they used to have the whole mound of dirt on their forehead. Then they used to go and clean it, right? That they just prayed in those days.
Still, you don't need it if the ground, is like a dirt. You don't need no sajda.
No, you don't need sajda, there.
Or wood.
Or wood, anything that is from the earth, natural. Yes.
Also, the impression that in Masjid Rasul Medina, back then, Rasulullah used to pray on hasten.
Hasid, or wood. Hasid is wood, bamboo. Made from bamboo. Things, right?
Yeah, palm tree, right?
Yeah, palm tree, anything that is not eaten, nor worn. Something that, is there. That's why everyone used to pray on something that's natural.
Would concrete be concrete?
Concrete also is natural. It will be natural, yes. Anything that's from the earth, you can pray on it.
What if you're on a Muslim prayer and your dad calls you on the phone? Do you answer it or?
If you're on the prayer, you see, again, if you're doing mustahab prayers, which I, hard to believe. If it's wajib prayer, no. Wait for the wajib prayer to end, because the only place you do not listen to your father is when your father's command conflicts with Allah's command. Because Allah on a vertical line is higher and greater. Allah sent the father so that you can learn obedience of Allah. So when Allah says pray and it's your wajib prayer, then no, you cannot obey your father then at that time. When the prayer is over, you go to him. Because now you're listening to Allah. When you listen to Allah, you cannot listen to anyone else.
Oh, what about on a Muslim prayer?
Mustahab prayer is alright. Then you should. You should bring the prayer and go there. Why? Because here Allah says, listen, it's more important that you listen to him.
He said we're calling the phone.
Yeah.
Even if it's on the phone, as long as you know he's calling you, whether it's like he's live or on the phone, it's the same thing. Now the thing is that you looked at the phone while you're praying, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing, but still.
Why is it required for the oldest son to be responsible for the father's business?
Okay, the question is, why is it wajib for the oldest son to be responsible for whatever the father missed in his life and to take care of his will and all of those things? Very good question. You know, here's the deal, you know.
Can you repeat the question?
The oldest son has to do all the prayers for the father that he missed, right? And the Hajj and all the things, right? Pay off his loans. It falls on the oldest son, not the youngest son. It's wajib on him. Even though the younger sons can take care of it. But it's wajib on the oldest son. Well, here's the deal, right? You see, being the oldest son, the oldest son is the only child that this person had who had individual time with the father and complete attention from the father. Every child after that, his attention was divided with the first child and the one that's before him, and then after that, you know, you're 1/8 of the family now, you know, or 1/15 of the family. You know, and after that, you know, names are forgotten, then you go by description, you know. The one with the curly hair, you know. So, the issue that happened, the first child is the one who had that undivided, special, complete, whole attention that no one else had. And it is for that reason that he inherits the personal things of his father. And he's also responsible for all the things because you had that moment with him that none of your siblings had.
Yeah, is it the oldest daughter?
Is the conflicting thing here? Oldest child. I heard the oldest child.
Oldest child, yes.
Not the son, I never heard like.
No, the son. It's the oldest son that has responsibility. The reason the oldest child is not there is because, you see, the problem is that the oldest child, yes, if the daughter is single, it's one thing. But if she's married to someone else, then she needs the permission of the husband to do this. She can't take an ambition because her Jannat is under his feet now. And he has to obey him. Now, if she doesn't obey him, then you know what? Allah says, you know, oh, you know what? Well, too bad. You just had daughters, you know. It can't be the case. You know?
Twin brothers then.
Okay.
The one who came out first. Twins, right? Okay, now, other raised hands.
Like if the oldest is girl and the youngest one is the boy.
No, the oldest boy. As I said, the girl, right, if she's married to someone else, you know, then his fate, the fate of the father, depends if the husband gives permission.
But as you said, the first one got all the attention, but then
I know that, but the first boy also got the attention, right? Even though it was divided, but he got the attention of the boy. You know, okay, you're the boy of the family, you know? And so he got that attention from the father. Listen, you know, if you had like 5 daughters and 1 boy, who's going to get the most attention?
Boy.
Well, there you go, you know? I mean, you know that, you know, I mean, and it's like everywhere you go, you know? He becomes like the spoiled child, right? And all of these things. And I'm not saying that it might be the case all the time, but I'm saying usually that's what happens. And when a rule is made, it's made for the general population, not for a specific group of people. But yes, as I said, that anyone who's capable of taking care of his father's, her father's obligations is more than welcome to do that. Being wajib doesn't mean that only he can do it and no one else can. No. It means that he has to do it. If someone else does it, then that wajib is finished from him. Yes, sir.
I don't know, how do y'all refer to the center here? Is this Al-Walaya 2?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is Imam Ali Center 1.
All right, when we gonna start fit classes here?
Our fiqh classes, inshallah, that's in the pipes, you know, it's coming down, you know. Right, it's in the tube, you know.
Some fit classes.
Well, I have a question. Sometimes the father is not really reasonable to their children,
Or abusive.
you know, and to his wife,
Yes.
and you know, to children, and
True.
that kind of situation.
You see, again, you know, the idea of obedience to the father, right, is all in common sense understanding. You know, to the extent. If the father is a serial killer, and he's going to come after you with a knife, right? And says that, listen, you got to obey the father. Why don't you come in the bathtub? Obviously a situation like this, right? That's not what Allah means by obedience. Then the law that Allah says you have to protect your life is more important. Because that's Allah's law now. You can't break that. So in those cases, yes, it is unfortunate, and you see it's very difficult for a person who's looking at it to see that, to go through. And it is the job of the society, to protect women or children who are involved in abusive relationships. In Islam, it is the job of the society to do that. When Imam Ali used to hear of an abusive relationship, a woman was battered by her husband, Imam Ali himself came and beat up that man. Right? Beat him up in front of everyone. Just to show why? Because of the fact that it is the job of the society to protect the weak. And if the child is being abused, it's the job of everyone who's there and was witness that, this cannot be happening. I'm sorry. He needs to be taken care of. Situations need to be taken care of. So yes, when things like that, these are extreme situations. You're not talking extreme. Yes, difficult situations is okay. The father is hard. Okay, hey, that's fine. That's what Allah gave you, and that's the best thing for you. He's hard. But being hard is not the same as being abusive. Right? And abusive has no place, in any society. And that's why we have law and order that's above that, which is the police. Islamic, law system is there in order to take care of such things. Yes, but in other than that, common sense, you are the father, you discipline your child, that's fine. Not anything that, yes. You see, it's the job of the mother to tell you to listen to your father. The mother's job is to tell you that you have to listen to the father. And the father, he needs to make it in his mind that my role in life is to make it tough on my children. That's what I've been put here for. Not to make them, like always happy, this and that, but to be tough. Tough love is from the father, not the mother. He needs to show them that. Because discipline that's how they get it. That's how they'll learn to be a servant. When he's there, it's important. And even if he's not there, you listen to the laws that he laid in the house. If he says, wash your hands before you eat, then you have to wash your hands even when your father is not there. So you listen to the laws that have been laid in the house even when he's not there.
As you said, like for father's prayers and stuff, is the older son
Who does the mothers?
older son?
Yeah, the older son. See, again, I think you all are not understanding this right? Listen, mother or father doesn't matter. Any child, not even the child, anyone in the family can take care of their prayers and their fasting and their hajj. Whatever is amiss, anyone can do that. Right? It's not that, but it's wajib of the older son. It doesn't mean that others can't, I can't do it, I'm not the older. No, if you have the money in this, just go ahead and do it. You take care of it. So anyone can do that for the father and mother. And the reason that the mother is not mentioned and the father is mentioned, trust me, here's what happens. No one likes the police. So if we have to tell the citizens of the community to be nice to the police, we have to create a rule for it. We have to create a rule for it. That's why there's a rule for doing the wajib prayers of the father, not the mother. The mother is someone who's loved by all the children. And there's no need for a rule or a law to be done, kids will do it anyway because they love her, right? And out of love. That's why they'll do it. The reason Allah created a law for fathers is because He gave that tough job to the father. Children grow up, I had the hardest time in my life because of my father. You know that. So what happened is that Allah has to make a rule. And says, listen, now you have to, even though he was bad on you, now you have to pay off all his loans also. I know it's a bummer, but that's the way it is. But the mother doesn't have to be told that. The children love their mother anyway. They're going to do it no matter what. All right? So, listen, because it's Father's Day and because we have certain people who brought cards over here, we have some prizes that we want to give away. All right? So, we have 3 lucky fathers here because of their 3 good children. So, we are going to now judge which is 10. Have you judged this? No? Okay, I will now appoint someone to judge. So, yes. So, we have a volunteer. Brother Masim is going to judge. Without looking at the names, just go and judge which are the best 3 cards. Go, Masim, and read it. Now, while Masim is doing that, and just write it down and or just pick it out. 3 of them. I need 3 of them.
I'm just gonna pick them out.
Yes. Pick them off the wall and. Okay. Yeah. There's no age right now. We weren't that. We didn't think it through deeply. It was an afternoon plan. Don't worry. Next time we'll go into the details. Hey kids, over here, let me ask you some questions, right? I have some things for you. Come here. Now, do we have the prizes for all the kids? Okay, we don't, since it's Father's Day, Have a seat over here. I want to ask you a question, right? Now, you heard the speech. Now tell me, how many of you understood what you have to do? Eat. Okay. The oldest son of the family takes after the father dies. Yes.
The oldest son takes care of everyone in the family. I didn't listen. I was watching TV. He stole my answer.
So, yes. Do I have an answer? What was the speech about today?
You should obey your father.
Obedience to the father. Why should we obey the father?
Because that's pretty much he's serving Allah and all of you.
Okay. Anyone else wants to answer that? Why should we obey their father? Yes. Because? Yeah, go ahead. Guess you?
He's the top one in the family. He's the one who can take care of the family and power through everything.
Okay, he can power through everything. That's good though. Anyone else?
Me. The father teaches obedience, which teaches us to be tough.
Bingo. There you go. Answer for this kid over here. Salawat for him. That's right. You obey the father in order to learn to obey Allah. Okay, where are the prizes, please? You can give me all the prizes right here. Okay, they're taking it out. Here, come over here. Come here. Yeah.
This is first. Second is the tie for first.
Oh man.
So I have
Choose one.
Choose mine.
I like this.
That. Okay. See.
Next, you should keep the one right there.
Okay. Now here's the thing, right? We are going to just hold on to that. I want to see whose these are, because if they're siblings, then the father will get one gift and I'll give that to another father, Okay, first of all, let's see. Whose is this? Muhammad. All right, he gets a gift, Muhammad. Yeah, one green back, one green back. Give him a green back. All right, he made this one. 2 giraffes, the father, and lots of hearts. Oh, that's cool. Okay, and whose is this one? Oh, Khadija made this, a shirt with a tie. An origami that's like a world's best dad. Only those who have already experienced a revolution within themselves can reach out effectively to help others. Malcolm X. Happy Father's Day. All right. Okay, here we go. Whose is this? All right, now we have this. Good Father's Day. Heather Rizvi made a whole thing for his father here. Oh my God, everything is like, oh wow, opening up. And look at this, look at this. Wow, all of these things. Amazing. Here, Heather, this is for you and thank you. Send a salawat for all 3 of them. Now for the fathers, right, of these 3 kids, I asked them to come forward. And who likes Starbucks? There you go. Starbucks. All right. And more Starbucks. All right.
Everyone here likes Starbucks. IHOP.
Yeah, okay. IHOP for him. You take IHOP then. You get IHOP, and you get this for your dad. All right. And all the kids who made cards, come over here. I got gifts for you also. You get Skittles. Just don't wear hoodies. Here. No, not you. You already got a gift. Come on. Next one. All right, Skittles. Which ones do you want? Take one. Take one. Take one.
Yes!
No, you already got the other one. The big one. Okay, everyone. So, alhamdulillah, happy Fathers to all of you. And inshallah, we have this occasion so that we can celebrate this occasion and honor the role of the father. And inshallah, in the community, we want to build this role as much and as strong as we can. Well, thank you, everyone. And let's read ziyarat, inshallah. Next week, also, again, we have program every Saturday night. Be here, inshallah, for the Saturday night.